All right, so the meeting of the Whitman Historical Commission on August 20th at 7:30 p.m. will come to order. So we will go through the agenda. We'll start with correspondence. We'll go through the minutes from the last meeting. We'll have the treasurer's report. We'll talk about the next steps in the grant and give an update on the project. Want to brainstorm ideas for what our council commission can sponsor for the Whitman's 150th anniversary celebrations. We'll talk quickly about office equipment. We'll talk about the town markers location project. I'll give a quick update on, from my notes on the Board of Selectmen meeting that we attended on July 23rd. Talk about artifacts we want to give to the middle school. We'll talk about a follow-up on the email regarding conversations at the Dyer Library about Whitman. Talk about, this one we may have to put on hold, but we can talk about an update on research on demo delays, and we can talk about the dates there. And then new business is restoration of Arch on Temple Street. So any other business to add? New business?
Yeah, it'll be a quickie. I wanted the group's permission to contact the oldest resident in town so that she could be presented with a clean. I haven't contacted her, but I want your permission to.
Is that other one died?
We haven't had one since last year. So it's Harvard Street. Jean, I have it written here, so I have it somewhere.
Okay.
Jean Taylor, sorry. Harvard Street, yes.
Sounds like the Jean Taylor dance. Oh no, that's the Jean Taylor.
I was going to say, if you took any longer finding the name, I'd say Gene Wilder.
Oh.
All right, great.
So I will do that if that's everyone.
All right.
Is fine with that.
All right. So for correspondence, just handed over the check from the
Whitman Mothers Club.
Thank you. So we've got $300 to thank them for, and Michael will write the thank you note. Appreciate it.
Oh, I've got something to add.
Okay.
The library.
Library. Okay. The library for new business. All right.
Don't say anything more because we don't want Michael to know about it.
Okay. Shh. So no other correspondence. I do check the emails, not as often as I should, but I promise to be more diligent about checking my Whitman emails and all that fun stuff. So we'll work on it. Minutes from the last meeting. So I realized I sent you out the wrong draft, but here's the final. If you guys want to take a look at it and let me know any changes, then we can edit them and update where needed. Copies.
Do you want us to do that now, or are you going to do it at a future?
A future meeting. So just send me an email with any edits you want, and I can do it online, and we can send out the final version. Right. Awesome, blossom. Okay, great. So we got that going on.
I'm sorry, treasurer's report.
We move on to the treasurer's report from Michael.
Pass a couple this one. Pass a couple this way. We started the new general year off July 1st, so we get $500 in our general fund.
Great.
And the gift account remains at $1259.52, although you gave me that check for $300, so that will bump it up to $1559.
Good.
And the Gold Star account has the $935.77.
Great.
Did we ask you last time? Was it always that amount from the Mothers Club?
No, it's been $200 before. So some years it's been $300, some years it's been $200. It must depend on how successful a year they had.
Great.
So great, it is great. Yeah.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
All right. So let's. Any
Move to
questions
accept.
from Michael?
Second.
Who wants to second the motion to accept the treasurer's?
Second.
Third. All right. Do we all? All in favor?
Actually,
Aye.
you have enough, so I don't have to vote.
Okay. We're all good. Thank you. All right. So looking at handing out a status report that I put together for our Whitman Historical Resource Inventory Project. So this is lots of movement since we last met. Oh, here too. No more.
Is there?
I thought it was enough.
I don't
Well,
have
now
one
we can
either.
do photocopy. We could
Did you hand me one?
I thought it was the one when it came in.
There's 4 floating around.
All right. Let me make a quick copy. 2 seconds.
We'll talk amongst ourselves.
Talk amongst yourself as we get started.
You had mentioned the Whitman Public Library. Barbara came out with her list of adult talks, I'm saying, and there's a few historical ones that look very interesting. So I didn't bring them with me. They're in my car, but I will.
I've got them on my phone. She
Oh, great.
gave them to me.
Okay.
So I'll pull it up.
Yeah, I was going to send it to the group so everyone would.
Yeah. Why don't you send it to the
One
group,
is on the big
and I
day.
can bring it up first.
One is on. There's a guy that does carving, a gravestone, historical gravestone carvings for different people if they want one. I can't think of the other two, but she's got a couple good historical ones. Oh, and the other one was the third one that was historical in nature was there was an architect who bought a house in Pembroke and he redid it. It's called the Loring House. If that name's familiar to anybody, the Loring House. I think it was a replica of a blacksmith kind of thing.
He's a blacksmith.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, he's a blacksmith.
So those were the three historical ones, and then she has a fourth one on gardening, but that doesn't have any historical component.
I am not finding it right smack dab on my phone.
Passing that down to my.
Thank you very much. That's okay. Like I said, I'll scan it and send it out to everybody.
Well, I think that they wanted to see. That's what I was just saying to add to the agenda for us to vote whether or not we would support it and be collaborating with them for this year for the first four, which are the four historic ones, which Barbara had mentioned to me. Do you know what they are?
No.
So you know, Barbara Bird is the one of the research. Is she the research librarian?
She's the circulation supervisor.
She's phenomenal, but she likes to do talks on Saturdays, and so she approached me because she knew that I was on the historic commission, and she didn't think she could approach you because you were on the board. Mm-hmm. But we were talking about the fact that she's doing for historic presentations, and thought we would be interested in it. And I said, would you like us to collaborate with you? So we thought, that we would be able to vote to see if we wanted to collaborate and give them some funding towards, because they have to pay the speakers.
Can I make a suggestion on that
Yeah.
point? I don't know when the Cultural Council grants start, but usually either the library or the Friends of the Library, maybe it's the library, I don't know, they apply for Cultural Council grants and they usually go towards their children's program.
Right.
Yep.
We could apply for some of the grant or two, which we've gotten before from the Cultural Council to fund two of those, so that it's not really coming out of our money, it's coming out of the culture. That was my idea. But I didn't get to talk to her because she was at the library meeting announcing her presentation and then she left. So I wasn't able to.
This is going to drive me crazy because I know since I've even been here tonight, I have seen a copy of the copy of the ones that she gave me.
The flyer, yeah.
Yeah, and I thought I had it on my phone.
So, and I did see Dawn Byers about a month ago, and I said to her, "What's the deal with the Cultural Council plan?" But she goes, "Just go online. You'll familiarize yourself with the grant process.
Okay.
You just have to go on the Masses Council,
Okay.
Council of Arts, whatever.
So if you need me to let me know.
We could work with you on
Yeah,
it.
that'd be
You and I
great,
can do that. So, all right. I just want
You don't need me.
I want you to have a vacation. No.
Well, that's why when we collaborate, we can collaborate, but we could actually, on our arm of it, you know what I'm saying, do the grants because the library does already submits,
grants,
and they're not going to get both, you know what I'm saying, but
Agreed,
if we're sponsoring it, then we would be able to do
Agreed.
it.
Oh, I think it's every grant that we can do is much better for us. Yeah,
Exactly.
because we're going to be talking about another one.
Yes.
Yeah. So we're on the
gonna
same.
become
We're on the same
grant-writing
page.
fools.
So we'll make a motion to apply for 2 grants to co-sponsor and collaborate 2 of the talks, historical talks at the library. Do I have a second? Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Barbara seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. So Michael.
And we'll pick whichever ones, probably the latest ones, the ones that are, because she may have one in September, October.
She has actually. I think she was thinking of the September, October, November, December. Or
That's
something.
the time frame, but the later ones gives us a
November,
better
December.
time frame
Okay.
in terms of, because I don't know what when the grant money comes out for
Okay.
culture.
Okay. All right. So I'll just follow up, and then you and I can get together to write it up, and then we can send it to the group to approve.
And I do see Adriana once a week. She's the chair of the cultural. I just happen to see Dawn, but I'll ask her more of a pointed question. If you apply at this point, when do you get the money? I don't want to have to wait till the spring. The other thing you should know, Barbara did announce that she is retiring. 25 years, I know, at the library. So
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
I know she's great.
Yeah.
If she's listening to it, good luck on your retirement.
Best of luck. Appreciate all you've done. I love the library. So,
When is she retiring?
The end of December, after this semester.
December.
At the end of
next
December.
calendar year, yeah. She's starting a new year. With
She's so good.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Great.
You gave us this hand.
I gave you the status report. So this, so just a quick update, like here's kind of all the milestones and the dates for what we're working on towards for the Whitman Historical Resource Inventory Grant, working with the state. You can see that if you go across like under milestone major 1, we got, you'll see C means completed. So like we've met all our dates up until like.
O means open.
Today.
C is closed, yep. So we've got everything closed up until milestone 6.
Yeah.
So we've submitted the single audit, we've finalized the scope of work, and the RFQ was officially posted on July 31st. Yay! So today, what we want
Is it posted?
it was
Yeah. Okay.
Kathy Keefe did it, posted it, and then sent it out to. We had a list of potential vendors that she sent it out to. That came from the state. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just going to ask if she's posted it on, because we have the official meeting posting board,
Okay.
and I wasn't here for a bit of time, so I don't know if she posted it there. But
Okay. If you don't mind double checking that.
Typically, it usually gets posted there.
Okay. If you don't mind double checking that, okay, great. I'll have you double check that. So today, what I wanted to talk about was we need a procurement team from this group, along with Kathy Keefe, who will be part of this. I did ask her to come to tonight's meeting, but she originally had accepted, but something came up after her vacation. She's fine with us talking through it tonight, and then I will going to give her an update tomorrow through email of our progress. So
this is a committee of people that will be reviewing the proposals and narrowing it down to what we want to select.
Correct. Yes. So looking for, let me show you. So here's like just a proposal on our decision matrix of what we want to. Again, this is what I've used in the past, where we set the criteria for how we want to look at the proposals and weight it based on the input. Sorry, we're out of copies. But so what we want to do is we have to finalize the criteria you want to use, and this is just an example tonight. When we get the procurement team members also finalized, because before you open any of the proposals, we need to have this down because of rules that have been set out from the state. So first of all, do I have volunteers that will be part of the procurement process? So what it mean was once the proposals come in on August 28th, they'll be sent to you. You'll take a look at them, and then the group will meet off schedule to go through feedback and decide on the final vendor.
Yeah. And when we did the last time, it was generally one night. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it won't be that long. Yeah,
we score them and then we find out.
Because you'll come to the meeting with here's my draft, and then we'll have a discussion about why did you pick 4 and I picked 1, and then we can go back and forth on the criteria piece. Because as you can see, we set the criteria, what the weight is, and then we have a rating scale. It fails to fit, poor fit, fair fit, and then it's in an Excel grid, so it'll calculate kind of the final number so that we have it signed, sealed, and delivered based on feedback. Sorry. Chair. So, do I have any volunteers for the procurement team?
How many, it says team members, why don't just be all of us?
If everyone's willing to do it, but it'd be an off-cycle meeting, that's the thing. So, anyone who wants to volunteer, it's great. I don't want to mandate that folks be part
I'll do
of
it
it.
as long as it's not before, not after I leave.
But we have to have a contract signed by the end of September, so it'd be, August 28th we'll get all the proposals in. I don't know how many we'll get, 2 or 3, depending on the
Can I throw out a strange thing?
Please
Can we do it like on a Saturday morning?
Oh, I love that.
That way, the night schedules get kind of hard.
Agreed, yeah. So
I do have a couple Saturdays, but I have a couple Saturdays I am available.
Yeah, folks want to be part of it. And then, so what we do is we'd send you the proposals that come in, have you review it, and then you come to this meeting with your scoring for each of the vendors.
And it's August 20th today, so you would assume it'd be first or second or third Saturday in September.
September, correct.
Okay.
Yep.
How do they send in their?
They have to send it by email, and they have to mail a hard copy.
So, and it's already been posted.
It's already been posted. Yeah.
So, have you looked at our mailbox at all? I didn't go down today.
I didn't look at it today. I was going to look at it, but I didn't. No.
I'll look at it. Yeah.
It may come to Kathy. I don't know since she's.
It's under Kathy's name. It comes
Yeah, so
directly
it
to
would
Kathy
come
because
directly
she's
to
the
Kathy.
purchasing agent,
Yeah.
so she
Okay.
needs to be. She's the one that kind of is in charge of making sure that when the proposals come in, as the neutral person in this process,
Great.
so that we don't, as commission members, don't have any influence. over.
Nice.
Yeah.
Can I throw out September 7th? If we have.
Yeah, and I probably have to withdraw then.
Oh.
If it, I have company coming from Kentucky for the week.
Oh,
in
okay.
August. I'm September 8th.
Oh, okay.
So if it's around then,
Okay,
I
sorry.
won't be able to.
Unless you have an alternate date. The 14th, I have a recycling event that I'm doing.
Oh, I hate bottles.
Wrong recycling, but I do those too. Yeah.
My Saturdays in September are free.
Okay.
Good. So sure.
Can we say like 10:30 on September 7th?
Yeah, that sounds great to me.
10:30.
You might want to ask Elaine too, in case.
Yeah, she's on vacation. So
And
I'll ask her.
how many people do you need?
As many as you want that want to be part of the process, but
Sure.
okay.
What was it, 10:30?
And I,
10:30 on September 7th.
I'm available for that.
Okay.
I'll post a meeting too.
Okay.
a lot
Michael, Sean, Molly, Robert. Okay, great. And then I'll ask Elaine, and then
Your
you can
flashlight's
ask your
on.
father if
That's
he.
her.
Your flashlight.
So on that night,
Oh,
we will
thank you.
actually pick somebody.
It's been doing that lately. I
That day,
wonder
yeah.
why.
I assume Kathy will contact them. Yeah.
It's all yeah.
She's going to be there the night we do that. She must.
I'll have to let her know
Okay, yeah.
when we're doing it.
Oh.
Hopefully she'll be able to.
Oh,
do
I
it.
was thinking of Kathy. Yeah.
Yeah, she's got to be part of this. Yeah.
That's right. Okay. Well,
Well, let me check with Kathy to
Yeah.
see if she's available on September 7th at 10:30, and I'll reach out if not, and then we can pick a time.
Do we want to have two
place.
dates just in case?
We could do September.
how about a Friday? Oh, is Friday bad for people?
It'd be later. It'd be 5 o'clock.
No, I just threw that. I mean, it's okay.
Let me check with Kathy and say that that's what we, and see if she's available. Okay.
Yeah,
Alright,
she comes
so
on Saturday. She might be free. She might not have to come in and work the day before, but go Friday. No, she might.
Oh, right.
Maybe
I forgot.
Kathy and Mary Beth will let her do that.
You said
Okay.
September 7th?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll follow up with Elaine and your Mike Simmons.
This looks fantastic. You did a nice job.
Thank you.
Mary always says nice jobs. She's very good.
So again,
I worry.
I'm worried now.
I would.
I'd
I'd worry.
So again, you can see, what's upcoming when we have to have our proposals reviewed, all that done. So we'll be ahead of schedule if we finish it on September 7th. So that would be brilliant, team. I appreciate it. And this I think is a good tool to use because the Board of Selectmen did ask for us to give regular updates. So I think this just lays it out kind of cleanly. Here's what we're doing. Here's the milestones. Here's what we've completed. Here's where we're behind, et cetera, et cetera.
Are you going to go in front of them again with each of the things, or when?
They said I was going to reach out to. Oh God, what's his name?
Here, Carl,
Not Carl.
Justin,
Our representative.
Sean.
Sean, thank you. I knew it
I
was
was going
another
to.
S.
I was down
I
here.
knew another S. I was like, not anymore. I was going to reach out to Sean to say.
Yeah, he
I
may
told
just
him
say, "Give us this," and
Yeah.
that's fine.
That's good, yeah. Let's see what happens. All right. So let's talk about criteria while we've got the group together. So, again, this is just an example. Approach plan, key personnel, experience, department, and cost. So,
What do you mean by department? I'm just asking that.
but if they've got the right experience, well, this was again, I used
Experience, I get that part.
experience, and then if they were in that particular department or had that background. But again, this was just an example, yeah.
Would I be able to get a copy of one of those?
Oh, did I start writing on this one?
All right, I can make.
Oh, yeah.
We'll share.
Yeah.
If do you mind sharing with Molly, and then we can.
Sure.
Okay. Sorry, I thought I made enough copies, but I didn't count right. So I thought that the approach plan might be a good one to use, and then figuring key personnel on the project. Who they assign to be part of this project, and then experience, and then cost. Again, I just threw them out there,
Yeah.
but wasn't sure what people think. Any feedback on any other criteria we should
What
weigh them
would
on?
you figure would be like approach and plan?
Dates and what their methodology is going to be. So what kind of methodology they're going to use to do the research on the houses on the list we give them and we finalize.
Yeah, one of the things that I found out of the last one, and I was interested because PAL was, remember when
Yeah.
they told us
Yeah.
PAL was too busy,
Yeah.
but they are one of the groups that we were
Yeah.
sending it to.
It could have been because maybe the price cost at the time we were thinking. much less.
And they may have freed up.
Yeah.
You know, who knows? But so Robert, behind you, if you want to take a look at those, you know, if you want to take one of those home with you, you get a chance to look at the way this project works. And what they do is they survey the house, give us the history of the house, and they tell you what the style of it is, all the history of it, anything that they can find on it, and then we then are hoping to then give them a plaque that'll go on the front of it. So we're establishing a visual history for the town.
Yeah.
Is what we're doing.
Yeah.
And those plaques are right there. I think you saw them at the last meeting.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I thought was interesting that Pal did they never went to the Dyer, and they used the internet. And that type of thing, to me, I would really like to make sure that they're spending some time in the
They
town.
weren't here as often as you would think.
Right.
Yeah. Because they need access to the
Yeah,
surrounding. You know.
I think that needs to be, you know, from everything that I was reading out of those, it looked to me like that was where they failed.
Yeah.
There was
Whereas
another drawback was the when they did group surveys and
Right.
counted those as individual houses.
they look like they ran out of time.
Yeah.
And those houses that are around the park need to be
individually.
done.
Yeah.
So I think-
Especially for giving them plaques so that you know, we're building the history out from around that park.
Yeah, I think the approach plan then should be weighted heavier than 20%. That should be like the majority.
Yes.
But if we think about
Yeah.
that, to say, if someone says we're going to do house by house and, you know, go to the Dyer and not just do it on the internet, I think that's an important factor for us.
I think too, with this, I know when we did this in Rockland, we had a woman who came down from Cambridge to do it.
Yeah.
And she was a city planner at MIT. And we got her a key for the office.
Mm-hmm.
And so that she had a place to come to. Of course, this was really way before they started. This is like 1981. It's right
Way
before
longer ago. Yeah.
before they used a lot of the computers.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't be a smartass. Oh, I didn't say that. So, at any rate, I think that if we can somehow or another get past getting a key for the person who's coming in.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Even if we know what day she's going to be here, it can be unlocked for her.
Yeah.
I have no problem because I'm downstairs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that door can't be unlocked. It can just be left open like it is now.
Really?
As soon as if you walked out of here now and tried to come back in, you can't.
Okay.
There's nothing that, unless there's something on the side, but I don't think it unlocks.
Come through the window.
Huh. Okay.
All right, so we'll look into that. But yeah, so then if that's kind of like the waiting on the approach plan. Like, it's not just internet. You're coming here, you're going to be in Whitman, you're going to do
And that's why when we picked PAL, they were the most local of the three competing ones.
Okay.
One was Ohio, and the other one was, I don't know where, but like the PAL was Rhode Island, I think, at the time.
Mhm.
That's-
Yeah, I think they're still Rhode Island, yeah.
So that's why we picked them. Well, that was one of the reasons.
So I think the approach plan is legitimate. Do we all agree?
Mhm.
And should we up the
The weight of it.
first weight
Yeah.
of it to like say 40%? I'm gonna go on. And we can combine like key personnel and experience into one. Like
Yeah.
one, we don't need 4. This was just examples.
Oh, I see.
Like again, you
Yeah.
don't need that many. You know, you just have like how you're gonna weight it. It was just me giving some examples.
And I assume on experience, they're going to show us what they've done for other
Correct.
communities.
Examples
That
and
will
all
be, yeah.
Yeah.
I would definitely combine experience and key personnel.
That are going to be on the project. So we'll have to like tie them down to say, okay, you're giving us, you know, just for example, Molly, you know, here's her resume, but you have to guarantee she's part of this project. Because I've seen other big proposals that have come in saying, oh, we've got Mike and blah, blah, blah. Mike's only shows up once, but he's on part of the proposal and he's got the most experience. So we just got to make sure that.
Yeah.
So,
I think that's a very good point.
yeah, because that happens a lot. Where they will say, Mike's, example, the greatest. He's got all the experience, but he shows up to one meeting and that checks his key personnel. And we've got to be clear about we want the right people. We want the 18 as part of this. So what percentage? Because then the last one is cost. If there's nothing else that we want to.
No, so you do 40, 40, 20. Is that what you're...
Yeah. Unless there's other criteria folks think about.
No, I think
mean,
that covers it.
40, 40, 20? Okay.
So 40 for key personnel experience.
Yeah. and 20 for cost. And then what we would do is as we review, and I'll have the whole grid for all of you to fill in, so it's like,
I will say the last group that did it, when you were talking about personnel, the photographer wasn't there every time. In other words, they listed that though. They said, and we have so and so who does photography who will come sometimes when they need. At that time, is it the winter time when there's no branches on the no leaves on the trees from
Gotcha.
to take pictures. So.
yeah, so perfect. Like, so
yeah.
we'll keep an eye out for that as we're reviewing it. And then we've got like the rating scale of 0 to 5.
Yeah. That looks
Again.
good.
Yeah, so we'll base it on these criteria. I'll build out the worksheet. We've got a team.
It's like a Yelp review, isn't it?
I'm telling you, you know? And I've been honest, like I've been in these situations where I have a 5 for someone and someone else has a 2 and I'm like, we read it very differently because we approached it very differently. Like I was looking at key personnel and milestones where someone else was looking at it in a different way. So we'll all be different in our ratings, I think, but because we're looking at it differently. So that's why it's important to have a good big group and then have the weights and then move it in. All right. So we've got a group. We've got a team. I'll reach out to Elaine to see if he wants to. I'll reach out to Mike Simmons to see if he wants to be a part of it. And then I will reach out to, I'll call Kathy tomorrow and see if September 7th at 10:30 will work for her. And then we'll move and groove. If not, you'll get a notice from me.
Do we want to put up some alternate dates? Just in case?
Well, let's see what Kathy says. Because I was like, if I can say everyone.
If it's not Saturday, then it's got to be another day during the weekend.
Correct, yeah.
Change.
So let's.
You can make 7th or
She can't.
you can't.
Well, they come in the 8th, so I kind of like to have the 7th free, but I was thinking about it. Maybe I can still come and see.
I'm hoping it'll be a quick process because we'll come with our homework and we'll have read all the proposals and I think we'll get 3 at most if we get 3.
Yeah, and that's what we got the last time was 3.
Yeah. You can decide.
You can wait and see.
Yeah.
Where are they coming from in Kentucky?
Kentucky. Oh, I gotta go ask it. Oh, I forgot.
All right. So
I lived there for 4 years.
Oh, okay. They come in with my brother, who's from Hope Sound. They come in. My brother's coming up, and he's picking them up from Kentucky. I haven't seen them for 40 years.
wow, that's a huge.
Not my brother, but friends of my brother and I. We grew up with them.
Yeah. Good. All right. So I think we have a plan.
Beautiful.
Awesome.
Good.
All right, we're gonna be ahead of the game. Love it, love it, love it. All right, so next topic is brainstorm ideas for us, for this group to sponsor the 150th anniversary celebration. So, do you want to give an update, Molly, on our quick meeting with Mr. Rosen?
Yes. So you drove by and he said, I think I just got you in trouble. Mike Gancher just drove by and he saw the 2 of you coming out of the office. I said, I don't think so.
Yeah.
So Rich Rosen is the anniversary is coming up for the town, and there's a big celebration, and it's been slated to start on April 5th. And so we met with Rich Rosen because I wanted him to meet Mary to understand it. So right before we met with Rich, Mary and Robert stopped by, and I met with a guy that I call Tiny, because
He's not tiny.
Because his arms and forearms were bigger than Popeye's.
Yes.
That guy was huge.
my hand is not small. My hand was small in his hand.
Who's tiny? Well, what is his role?
His name is Mario, and he is one of the masons that I was given the name of to do the arch. And he really knows what he's doing. He has a company. Do you have the?
I have that. I can.
Yeah.
Pass up. I don't know if there's.
So
enough
this is
time,
his
but
estimate.
take one and pass it on.
His proposal.
Oh,
So he went up in a bucket truck.
Sorry.
He knew exactly what granite it was. He got on in a bucket.
Love to share some.
What's the first name of Chief Clancy? Is it Danny? Tim. So
we only
Tim.
hire fire chiefs by the name Tim.
Okay.
Oh, is that it?
So well, that's good to remember.
The last 3 have been Tim.
Yeah. He came out and got a bucket truck to come up, and so Mario went up in the top of the truck. The keystone in the center of it has dropped 3 inches. And so he suggests that there's nothing goes underneath it because of the fact that it's dropped. He recognized from the top where all the damage that has been done is caused by the grouting and so forth and so on. So at any rate, he talked to us and he said, I really like this arch. He said, I have enough business that I am happy to come in here and do the work before you get the grant. So Tim and Mary and I are standing there talking, and I said to Tim,
I don't mean it. You said he used the word before you get the grant, meaning before you get the grant money, or is there an existing grant that we're getting that we've?
What we're so
that's
that's
kind of a
so okay. Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
I'm doing. So while we were there, Tim had talked about he wants the arch to stay where it is.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, and so when Mario was talking to us, I turned to Tim and said, would you like to go in on a CPA grant with us to go for the money for this, whatever it comes up with? And he said, yes. Great. And today I went downstairs and talked to Shannon Burke, and she wants to go in on it as well.
Yeah.
So if we
that really increases the probability of getting it.
So then when we went to talk to, this came in literally right like 10 minutes before we met with Rich Rosen, and I gave him the copy of this because he wants to do the whole thing, the opening of the
rededication kind of thing,
the whole opening of the anniversary. He wants to have it as a Spellman thing, and he didn't know about what we were doing with the arch. He wanted to have the opening reception in the Spellman Center.
Mm-hmm.
He knew that we wanted to put the plaque on the Spellman house. And he said, not enough people know that Cardinal Spellman was born in the town and came from the town. And I said, well, it's interesting that you would bring this up. So part of this is he will put Spellman's name up on the arch because the church bought half of the arch from... originally from the church. And the only ones that I haven't approached is the church to see if they want to go in on writing the grant as well. But
you found that out through the Kirby files that you got.
From the Kirby file.
Yeah,
I have that whole file.
Yeah.
Or we have that whole file.
Was it always at that location, or was it somewhere else previously?
No, it was always at that location.
Yeah.
It used to be a park in there.
Yeah.
So,
the armory,
at any rate, Shannon said yes, that she wanted to. And so when we told Rich about this, and I said he wants to put, you can see it in there, he's going to put Spellman's name on the back side. He figured out exactly where it would go and everything else. He said, and the money, he said, $67,000, we can do that. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And he said, I said, well, we're thinking about applying for a CPA grant. And he said, gee, I think I know somebody on the CPA grant. He's on it.
Yeah.
And so we figured the collaboration will get it.
And the person will do the work even before he gets
He'll do the work ahead of time.
Get it approved.
For the opening of,
and he said he's willing to do that.
He's willing to do that.
Okay.
He's really nice.
It doesn't go to town meeting until May.
We know that. We told him that.
Okay.
We said we'll write the grant and we'll go
a lot
to
of bake sales.
Yeah. But no. Rich said he thought that we could guarantee it. So we just have to work out if everybody agrees that we want to do this, then we have to just work out how we sit down with Mario.
Yeah. We do probably have to get the extra proposals, I'm saying, from other people, even though we have an interested person, for the CPA. They need the 3.
Right. So we have our crack CPA representative here.
Oh,
Woo-hoo.
Yeah.
So do we work together on a proposal, Michael, where we're sponsored the 3, Whitman Historical Commission, Shannon, and the fire department, or
I think you get together. I think all 3 together.
And it would be more public.
Just like on town hall floor, which is proposed by. You can list multiple groups that's proposing it.
Okay.
I don't think you need to do the church if you don't want to, because the 3 town departments seem sufficient. To get it
Shannon says that she meets with the American Legion on the second Tuesday. I think it's the second Tuesday of every month.
Yeah.
So I suggested that Mary and I go and with her to talk to them about it, to get their background, their backing of it. So I think that provides us with a really strong possibility of getting this thing totally updated. And he came to me through the second person that we had an estimate. We have to have 3 estimates.
Yes.
So I've had 3 people look at it, so we can we have the 3 estimates. So we're sitting pretty for getting that.
And he wants to sustain it too, so that, the work he does will be sustainable through generations, so that we won't have to keep updating it, because
And he said, I have plenty of work. He said, I don't need the money until, he said, I'll trust you.
Yeah.
He
Small, he trusts.
He just has a bigger hand than I do. He just, it was interesting because of what he was able to tell us. So, okay. So can we have
That's restoration
a motion?
of arch, right? Yeah.
All right, who wants to motion to?
So we move forward with this?
I second.
That we move forward with the arch restoration using
I can't make the
CPA
proposal.
funds.
I'm an associate.
Using CPA funds through that avenue in
With the
conjunction with the veterans agent and the fire department.
Excellent. Who seconds?
Second.
I second.
Oh, he made a
Okay,
motion.
second. Okay.
I just outlined it.
Sean motioned and Mike. All right, all in favor? Aye. All right, unanimous. This is great. So this will again fall in line with so it all ties in with the 150th anniversary. So that if we get this, we can sponsor the ribbon cutting or whoever we want with dignitaries, etc., make a big deal about opening it and the history and. Think of all we can do with that.
Did you want other ideas?
Yes, we're going other ideas, but
because I did mention to you guys, I thought a cemetery tour would be well received.
Yes, so
Either Mount Zion or Colebrook or together. And
Rich loved it.
okay.
You
And
mentioned it to him.
Stephen, the new director of the Dyer, that's kind of one of his expertise. Jim saying a cemetery.
Awesome.
So I'm just going to ask him. I'm not going to ask him to do it. I'm just going to say, well, how would you go about starting, getting ready for a cemetery tour? And hopefully he'll want to be more involved.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to take this out. Something that Rich said. I from our last meeting, I went back to Doug Ulwick and said, yes, we want to collaborate with whatever it is you want to do at the Dyer, but we do not want to do this with the conversation of this until after the official opening of the anniversary.
I know he was aware of it. Because I think he was supposed to have adjusted some of his timelines.
Well, he came back to me with yes, that he said, okay, it's not what I wanted to do, but I brought it up to Rich, and he said, on no uncertain terms do I want him to start ahead of us.
Yeah.
And that's where Rockland made their big mistake, was Doug was doing these things, and it just threw everybody off, and they thought everything was planned out, and it wasn't. So, we can figure that out later with Doug, but just so you know that.
that's great.
You had told me before our meeting, and then the representative, the HSOA representative, who wasn't Doug at our Dyer meeting, she did say that I had mentioned the topics, and she goes, yes, it got adjusted slightly because Whitman wanted to delay it until after their
Great.
opening ceremonies.
Perfect. So we'll do that.
But I don't know the dates that they've done yet.
So cemetery crawl, so we can plan that out.
The cemetery crawl, though, I think one of the things for proposing it, when we talked to Rich again, because he was asking us we can do whatever we want as a historic commission. We can do, you can explain it.
We do whatever we want, and he'd help find the money to sponsor it too. So
I was going to say, the fall might be a better time to do the cemetery tour, because I know at the library when we do our historical events, we tend to get a lot more activity in the fall.
His timeline was April 5th through kind of June timeframe.
Oh, for everything.
For everything,
June of
June
just
22nd.
April, only 3 months for
So
the
he said April,
anniversary? No, it's a year.
It's a year, but he was saying this is his timeline for events that he's got planned.
Oh,
so April
he's
5th
got
to
like
June 22nd,
dances and things like that.
Yeah, because he's got like a chicken bake and didn't know what a chicken bake was, but he figured it out. Yeah.
What is
And
it?
then there's going to be a time capsule, so we have to figure out what we want to put in the time capsule. Sponsored by
Yeah, I can get you a list of what we've put in it before,
Mutual
too.
Bank.
The 125th, we have the list of things that are in there.
Okay.
So he was back to the house tours. He wanted to do a house tour, and we didn't want to do the house tour. So you weren't here for that, but we didn't want to do a house tour
So that's when
because
you
that's a big,
Yeah.
it's a problem. So I brought up the thing about the cemetery
Yeah.
tour where you have the people act out the
Yeah.
history, and he loved it.
Yeah.
So there really wasn't an idea that we brought up that he disliked.
He loved the plaque, so
He loved the
coming to
plaques
handing
idea.
out the plaques officially and bringing
Yeah.
dignitaries in to do it here for when we hand out the first few.
Yeah.
And then we talked about a scavenger hunt for the kiddos with a cookie instead of a duck. Sorry, she's not gonna like it. But
Oh, yeah.
as I said,
Cookie, yeah. Can I mention another thing I thought of?
please, yeah, please.
And this is not to raise money, because I think I've mentioned before the maps of Whitman. Take the 1886 map and see if Harding can print up some that we're not selling for a profit, but people.
Oh,
I think it'd be a
break-even
wonderful
map?
thing to get for families. Sort of thing. So I'm gonna call Dottie and see what she
Thank
can do.
you. All right.
He said when John was alive, and I spoke to him probably about a year ago. I said, John, if I want to have a lot of these maps printed up, because I can get you a good price on that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, see if you can get, if we have the plaques, I think we have enough money for 60 plaques.
Yeah.
So if you see what it would be for us to get 60 maps to go with the plaques, so that they would have a history of the town, the history of their house, and their plaque to put on the house.
Yeah.
And then all we have to do is figure out as we go forward with the surveying who we want to give the plaques to. We will give a plaque to I think we've already agreed on this,
Yeah.
the two that being Cardinal Spellman's birthplace and Captain Allen's
Yeah.
Down the street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And you're thinking
again,
of
I would
even
still
more.
like.
Yeah.
That's just my idea, because I remember I went online and Googled map, bird's eye view of Whitman, and I got it, and I was like, "This is a terrible map."
Yeah.
So, what I really wanted was the map that we have here, and
Yeah.
right there behind you. You know what I'm saying, and the one in the clerk's office.
Yeah.
For general public to buy. Yeah.
Exactly.
So
Just
break-even, yeah.
again, it's not to make money. You know what I'm saying, but just because
Break-even, yeah.
if you saw it at a table, you'd want to buy it. You know,
Right.
'cause
Yeah.
You're interested in Whitman.
All right. So that's a great idea. Some maps. So do you mind reaching out?
I'd be glad to talk to Dottie.
Cost. All right, Mike. All right.
I just recognized too, I'm sorry, John Campbell's wife died.
She did.
Natalie died.
Yeah, I
this
know.
past-
I was stunned when I saw
I
that.
did too. I was too. Yeah.
So do we need to send a letter or something? Or I can't remember whether the article had
What happened to
something to donate for her.
this historical stuff?
There was. I believe it was the Halifax food pantry, because she was she was
okay.
heavily involved in that.
Oh, yeah, that's right, because they live in Halifax. Yeah, no, I was just stunned when I saw it.
do have an idea. How much did your plaque thing cost? Your for the tree out front for Marie. How much did that cost? It wasn't that expensive, right?
Oh God, no.
First, second, or
Because
third time.
The Friends of the Park did not provide one. I don't think for John's. I don't think. I was talking to her at Whitman Day. That was what I was talking about. I said,
I have to return the plaque to June. Do you want me to ask?
ask her if she did, because otherwise we could. That's a
Yeah.
relatively inexpensive gesture. You know what I'm saying, for the family.
Yeah, because they were going to get a tree. That's why they cut back the money they gave to us
Right.
for the tree.
But they did plant the tree, because she said it's by the ball field. You know what I'm saying.
Oh,
Probably
so we could get a plaque to
just
put on
the plaque.
front.
Except the tree is all set. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That all right. I motion
And
to get a plaque in memory of Natalie Campbell or
John Campbell.
John Campbell.
Donna and Natalie.
Right, we
John
recognize him. Yeah.
Okay, recognize.
Yeah, you put
Natalie.
John in, because Natalie's been involved with the Historical Society as long as John has now.
All right. So any seconds?
A second.
Second. Thank you, Lorna. Seconds. All right. So we'll look into that.
I do think we would need permission, right, from the Friends of the Park, because they're the ones who provided the tree.
Yeah, I'll ask her.
Okay. So
And we
Molly-
wanted to include Natalie's name on it too, if that's okay with you, and I'm sure it is.
Okay. The vote. June. Okay. Perfect. All right.
I don't
so,
think we full. Yeah, all in favor. I don't think we.
All in favor? Sorry.
Aye.
All right. Great. Thank you. Keep me on. Keep me on it.
That was it for me for the 150.
Where's John's? All
But I don't think that's more stuff. Don't you worry. The Jello walk that we could have, or the pie throwing contest on
Oh,
the
I
mall.
love that.
Oh my
Cookie
God.
throwing contest.
Cookie eating contest.
Cookie
yes.
eating contest. All right. So we've talked about that, the cemetery tour. We're going to sponsor some of the Dyer.
Is there a cookie in there?
No, this
It's
is
a mag-
those are stickers.
Oh, okay.
Elaine was talking
This is
about it. She was
somewhat
having
to do with a celebration, but not really. The country's anniversary is coming up. The year is it the year 1775? No, it's this next year. Same with us. And Dyer was interested in if there were any houses. What houses were in Whitman during the Revolution, and I don't think we have any houses remaining. Correct?
Oh, I think we do.
You do. Okay, so they're interested in. Eileen is.
I
working
think
on
the
that
ones
project.
up on High Street.
Okay, I'll look in those.
Yeah, because isn't I forget the number, but the brick house on High Street, that's 1733.
Oh,
Yep.
there you go. Okay.
All right.
And there's another one down the street from that was, you would never know, the place where they have all the little figures at Christmas.
Yep.
All the paper figures, the Grinch and so forth. That's also.
I'm just putting that out there in case we
Yeah.
do any house researches and surveys and we find them
we can
pre
check
1775 or before.
Okay.
They're interested in putting together. This is what America looked like in 1775 in this community, these three communities, Whitman, Abington, and
Awesome.
God, it sounds like they're.
Harvard too.
and what?
Harvard Street.
Okay,
At
you
the
making
corner.
the TN one.
They got
778.
with the on the fireplace bricks. It has the date. I think it's 1708, something like that.
It's 78 Harvard Street. That was the one that is debatable whether it's the oldest house or not because it's been rebuilt or whatever.
And I think
Still
there are
have
three of
barn
them
there.
on Washington.
It
I
may
think
be
there's
coming.
three.
Okay.
There's also, I'm not sure what year it was built, but there's one on the corner of Mayflower and High Street. I know that one's definitely prior to 1810. I'm not sure if it's 1700s though.
Cool. All right. So, any other ideas? So we talked about maps. We talked about the Dyer sponsoring some talks on the Dyer after we go live in April. We talked about the art. We talked about the cemetery tour. We talked about the scavenger hunt for kiddos or adults. We could do both.
Mhm.
And then being part of the putting stuff into the time capsule.
Oh yeah.
Anything else that folks are thinking about?
I haven't thought about what goes in the time. You're not collecting that.
Not right now, no. Just
But
different
think about it.
ideas so that we can kind of map them out, put a time schedule together because it's a little project plan. All right. Well, let me put this together, map it out, and then start talking about when we need to start planning for it. Yeah. Okay. Great. Sounds like a plan. All right. What's next on our agenda?
Office equipment and design of commission room.
Yes, office equipment. So I know.
So we already know, Mike says that if we're getting that one in, then I'll have this one taken out. And then if we have, this can go, we can put these two one place or another with something either. I don't know. Let's wait until we get the file cabinet in and get everything filed.
Great.
And then we'll see. That I just want, and we have to get Todd to get these heads. Maybe we should auction these off for part of the anniversary.
That wouldn't be a bad idea.
We'll be in trouble. Okay. So we'll continue on as we get the equipment in. All right, Robert, you're up next. The town markers project that you got at the last meeting.
And these town markers are the boundary markers. Is that what we're talking about?
Yep.
Okay.
And I found there's 14 entryways into the town.
Wow.
14. Wow.
Yep.
And escapes, entryways and escapes.
Right. And, well, yeah. We're missing one by the East Bridgewater Whitman line. It's the Hornstra farm. Used to be
Mhm.
There isn't one there. And I checked the fields and everything, and it's just not there. I don't think there was supposed to be one at Whitman Hanson because that's not really an entryway, but there's not one there either. But there is one probably about a third of a mile down.
Are you talking about the entering Whitman signs?
Yeah, so there's two types of signs. There's the big ones, and then there's a small one that says town line.
Oh.
Oh, those markers. I thought we were talking about stone markers.
Yep, that's what
Yeah.
we're talking about. But that's the
I thought you were talking about the metallic signs that say like entering Whitman.
No, he's going back to the triangulation now.
Like the one, that they show always in South Abington near, what's that, Walnut Street? That people seem to see all the time.
Yeah. Walnut Street. It just
That's near you.
it says
We gave him-
A.
We gave Robert the triangulation map that has the
Really.
pictures of how they. But this goes into what Doug Alwick was looking for is the original, which he has not done, but Robert has. The how we set up the boundaries. How did the town become the town?
So
And how did you know that there were how many you should be looking for? Is it based on the maps that you?
there was a book that I looked.
Yeah.
It only showed 11.
Yeah.
I found 14 though because I went ahead and looked at the new Whitman map, and so there's like these little side streets, like Beaver Street. I don't know if you're Beaver Street.
Yeah.
There's
Oh,
one
yeah,
small
obviously.
little one down there,
Yeah.
and I just thought, let me just go to every
Yeah.
in and out of the town to see what's going on. And sure enough, there was one, except for where Orange Farm is.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. What a job, huh?
It was fun because I'm
Yeah.
a walker, and so I just walked to all of them. Some of them you couldn't find because they were,
You've taken pictures of these, right?
yeah, I
Could
got
we put them on Facebook at some to
Yeah, we can
pique people's curiosity?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, either on the Facebook site for us, but I'm wondering too if that couldn't be part of the rock tour.
agree.
I wouldn't mind going back, and because a lot of them were covered up with stuff.
Yeah.
Like one of them even had a fence on top of it, like someone's personal fence that was
Oh, you're kidding.
leaned up against it.
Oh,
you
wow.
know, and that's so a couple of them were on people's property, so I had to like walk into their yard and kind of take pictures. But it was a fun project. So I enjoyed it.
Great.
In different dates, I think.
Do you know?
Go ahead.
No, you finish.
I think, like, just looking at my notes, 1875, 1897.
Wow.
There was one that was from, I think, 1970.
And that is when the stone was erected or placed there or whatever. Okay, the marker.
And I found one in my backyard. It doesn't have any writing on it.
Where's your backyard?
It's Glen and Dover Street.
Ah.
But it doesn't have any markings on it. It's just the same exact size, and the same way they cut those stones. They had the same kind of markings of how they cut it. I just thought that was, and it's on the property line, but
Sometimes what they would do is they would move them places, but they also so in Rockland there was a path that went across South Union Street, and it was before Payson went in and so forth. But we found it by granite markers, and the granite markers and it was where the cattle had the right to go through the property to go back to where they were going to be grazing.
Yeah.
And it was only through word of mouth that I found that out because Jack Fletcher lived across the street. And Larry Boyle, who lived next door to us, said, "Hey, we've got these markers down here." And when you start going into people's backyards, you start finding all this crazy stuff that that's the fun of it.
I love going to people's backyards, finding stuff. So
Yeah.
this is right up my alley.
I like being shot at.
Get the Whitman Historical Commission badge.
Yeah, but that's one of the things, though, that I think in doing that with the triangulation map, which was the book over here, those I think are the real markers. But I think that's probably something too that going over to the diary that you might be able to find a little bit more information as to which are the real markers for the borders of the town.
Yeah.
And which were added later. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think it was by. Did you take the triangulation map home with you? Do you want to take it home with you?
I don't want to be responsible for it.
Oh, I don't blame you.
If you come up here and I'm here, I can let you in the office.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I did take some pictures on my phone.
Show Mike the picture of that one that you were trying to figure out. We had no idea what this was. And we thought you might.
So this isn't a marker, but I mean it's a marker, but it's not.
And I see yard.
It's. I'm coming. So that is.
What's
not? That is Pearl Street and.
Yeah, Broad.
No.
Washington. Yep.
Okay.
So that's at Pearl and Washington, and I.
Let me ask what that is. I'll ask the DPW. I'll ask Bruce. He must know.
So there's another one kind of like that by Whitman Hanson as well. So I thought originally that might be the marker, but it's not.
Okay, I'll ask Bruce what it is.
There's
He
a
must have.
trestle. I'm trying to think of where I saw this.
1951.
There's a trestle, a railroad trestle that goes through, like by Ritter Country Club,
Okay.
somewhere back in there. I found it in. Somebody sent it to me in a Google map.
You see this railroad trestle where?
There's over by Ritter. It's over in the area where the high school is. There's a railroad trestle that's still there, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Still there.
yeah.
So
Where is that?
Well, it crosses the road, doesn't it?
This is in the woods. It's in the woods.
Oh, it's in the woods? Because this will go into the woods.
I'm trying to remember where I saw it.
Okay.
It's behind Ritter's.
Yeah, that's where I recognized it as being.
it's separate,
but I'm
it's
trying to
unused?
remember how I found out that it was there. It has to be one of the books that are in here.
So we can look into that. So next steps on this project. So if you send me the pictures, I can start putting them online, and on our Facebook page. But I can create a presentation. So how will we incorporate it into our rock tour? I'm just trying to think.
Well, I would put it. I think as we get into the rock tour, we need to get that. The difference of the photographs, etc. Do you use Facebook at all? Why don't you turn Facebook? You're taking on you're doing worse than me. You're taking on a lot of projects. Why don't you give that to Robert? Because if you're walking around too, you might find things that you find interesting to put on.
Yep. So you can post.
Okay.
Yeah. Great.
Was it Lorna and
Yeah, I don't know. I was,
Oh.
and I wasn't.
Oh,
Yeah. Well, you have to get.
But now you're doing this.
Yeah. Now you're doing CPC. It'll take a little while for IT to give us.
For some reason, they couldn't get on. We couldn't figure that out, and then
I had to work through IT through Stephen and I forget his name.
Josh, yeah.
Thank you.
did you do something to?
I think, well, first time it was me, and then I was assigned, but
Yeah.
then you decided to sign, so it kind of dropped me and put you instead.
Yeah, and then IT loaded me up, so it took a long time to get him to agree to do it. So we'll work through it. All right.
Do you still want to do it?
Yeah, I don't mind. I mean,
No.
I was going to be an assistant. No, I think you
backup,
should
yeah.
always have two. You shouldn't
The
just have one.
backup. I agreed. Yeah.
If I thought of backup, I'll be a backup.
All right. So we'll get those IT things moving.
Where did you say the trestle was?
All right. Great.
It's over by the high school. In
All right.
the Ritter Country Club.
What?
We'll move,
Ritter Country Club.
moving in a groove in. So we wanted
No, I
to
mean like
collect
where
Oh,
in
question.
relation to it.
questions for interview questions
I
and timing for next step with seniors. I've only got a couple
I
copies
don't
there.
really.
But this
it's
is what
somewhere in
Elaine
there.
sent us all.
I printed that out,
Yeah.
yeah.
Put it out, yeah.
Lanes.
If you printed Elaine, so these are.
Yeah, she took all the good questions.
She did.
I'm kidding.
Yeah. Well, she,
Did you see her put email?
I thought, yeah.
But no,
There's a
I never,
printout.
she printed it out if you want. I printed hers out. It's
Okay.
ready.
Do you got a copy? Do you need one, John?
Of what?
So these are questions, we asked folks to brainstorm the questions we're gonna ask the seniors, and we wanna tie it in again with the 150th anniversary, which is a great idea too. So I feel like we have a ton of stuff we can do.
Can I mention, I don't know how alert this senior, the Boston Post Kane person is going to be. You know what I'm saying? So if she is, she might be somebody that would be good to be included.
I added her to
listen.
that. When if you're contacting her,
Yeah.
could you ask her if she'd be interested in doing? So my thought on this,
Who do you have so far? You've got a little.
I have Dennis Chick, Don Avery, Leon Baker,
Yeah.
Manis Getchell.
So this would be a woman, which you don't have. So that's
Right.
All right.
We've lost a couple. I know. Hold on.
Bernie Powers, Bob Willett.
Oh, Bob Willett. Yeah.
Yep, and Leo Hurley.
And Leo Hurley. Yes. Yes.
So, and that
What was
those
the female name?
those
What was
came from Matt
Gene Taylor was the first one.
Kirby. So
Yeah.
Bob Willett.
Yeah. Yeah. He used to be recreation director in Whitman.
So he gave us that picture. So I'm going to be sending him a
That's
thank you note for the
1951
picture.
Whitman High School.
Okay. Well, so I guess I've become Matt Kirby's new best friend. He's called me a couple of times, and he was looking for Tom Evans, who used to teach at the Holt School, who
Lives across
lives.
from me,
Yeah, does he live in the same building with you?
across the hall. Yeah.
Okay, so Tom gave him the names of
Yep.
Bernie, Bob, and Leo. And then I think it's Bernie has dinner with Getchell. Do you know them?
I know everybody on the list except Bernie. So.
Okay. So I figured I'd get their addresses and send
I
them
can
a
look at
letter.
any address that you want. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I've got the green book to
Okay.
with that.
Yeah.
So I figured.
Bob lives in East Bridgewater now. He's looking up Bob Willett.
Oh, okay. Do you happen to know how to get? Well, I have his telephone number. I could call him and ask him his address.
If interested and say, hey, we want to send you an official. All right. So the next steps will be we've got this list. We'll reach out by a letter that I think we looked at a draft probably last meeting that you had done, and then we'd send it out.
Did I do a draft? I don't
We
think
did.
so. I was going to try to do it, but I didn't get it done.
We did do a draft, and we finalized it in the group. We had it.
Oh, we did?
We did, yeah. We
Do
did
we-
a draft one, yeah.
Are we still interested in students doing the interviews or no? And I'm saying that because the school year's starting.
Yeah.
If I go up to high school, I could talk to Marcus Casey, who does
Yes.
that.
Let's.
Just
I
ask.
think if
think
we
it's
can
good.
get
It could
the
be history,
kids
too.
involved, yeah.
One of the advisors that I talked to is also this history guy, you know, saying.
Yeah.
Great.
Because of the B, I can't think of this first.
All right.
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind that would be great.
Get interest in kids doing it, and then, students. And we can work out, like, how do we get the video equipment and all that.
Well,
Do you think cable?
Paul Watson has already said he'd do it.
Yeah.
So that
And
might be easier to get the students when
Yeah.
you don't need the equipment and the technical
Exactly.
expertise. You know?
Right.
Exactly.
so if Paul does it, and then I was thinking that if we did it, if we have 12 of them for the year, and then do one a month, but if we can get them into the can per se before we start the anniversary. I mean, that to me is to learn from the mistakes that Rockland did. They're still trying to figure out how to end their year.
Yeah.
But if we have everything done ahead of the year, then we can enjoy the year more.
Yeah.
So,
It's all fun, yeah.
so that, and Manus Getchell is heavily into this.
Yeah.
I'd like to see if we can get some women, and I'd asked Lonnie. I haven't heard back from either Lonnie or Mary Holland.
Yeah. Let me think. In my election worker mind, I'm saying former election workers.
Yeah.
I'm saying that because they tend to be a more elderly
Great.
group.
Sounds good.
Sorry, Lana, I'm not looking at you.
No, we're spry. Okay, so then, so we can,
Marcus.
we'll gauge the interest of having.
We have
students.
8, so
Eight
if we
right
can
now.
get, if we get,
Yeah,
4 more,
that's it. Yeah.
if we
Good.
can get 4 women,
Yep. And
and
then,
then we could send out the letters all at the same time. Because to me, if we don't send the letters all out all at the same time, they end up at the senior center going, "Oh, I got a letter. How come you didn't get a letter?" You know?
exactly, same day, we'll have the stamps. And we even thought about, like, maybe if they can get them do the interviewing at the COA, that building.
Oh, yeah,
Some of them are
yeah.
there some of the time too, so we could set it up. So, alright, so we got that for next steps. When would you be able to, now I've got my project manager hat on, when would you be able to talk to the school? Gauge interest? They're back.
Next week.
Next week, okay.
Yeah.
All right,
Probably. I may go up Thursday, which is the second day of school.
Okay, great.
I'm looking at. There's a couple that I printed out the list of the oldest residents because I wanted to see who was on.
Okay,
it.
great.
There are a couple women on here, and I don't know how lucid they are. You know what I'm saying? One was Dorothy Siebert. She owned Quinwell Travel.
Oh.
And I interviewed her when I was in 7th grade in middle school. She won't
Wow.
remember.
But still stuff that is.
I bet she will.
And looking at the other one is Phyllis Flood, and her husband ran the photography studio. Again, I don't know how. She was walking around town up until recently.
Right.
I don't know how sharp she is. I don't know. Those are 2 that I recognize.
Oh, is it Phyllis Flood, and what was the other one?
Phyllis Flood, like I said, her husband.
Phyllis Dodge. Phyllis Dodge.
Phyllis Dodge. Yeah. But her name now is Flood.
It's Flood.
Yeah.
Remarried.
And the other one was Dorothy Siebert, who ran Quinwell Travel.
How do you spell the last name?
SEIBERT.
Okay, great. So we've got, and if we add Gene Taylor, that's 3 more. So
Yeah.
that's 8, 9, 10, 11. So 1 more.
Okay.
Brilliant.
Well, I'll run my list by a couple people that might know people that I don't know. That
Okay.
like I recognize a couple names here, but I don't know.
So do you, I'm trying to think of what's the best way to contact them to find out if they're compass or non-compass.
If the who?
Compass or non-compass.
What's that? That's a term I'm not familiar with.
I'm sorry.
They're lucid.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Lucid.
Lucid or not lucid. I think if we mail them a letter and they open it, or if someone else opens it.
You know, there's another guy on here too. If you're not, Art Moran. He ran the real estate agency. He still has a business certificate. The one on Washington Street, right near you. I don't know. I mean, he has his business. He took it out recently.
Really?
Yeah.
I
Still.
don't even know.
I know he wasn't around during COVID. He wasn't out and about, but
Oh, good for him.
I think the business people probably are
Yeah.
really invested in the community,
And they'll have
stories to tell you
Especially the real estate. Okay, so we're up to 12. Awesome.
if everyone hands out.
Yeah. Oh, we'll have access. Okay. All right.
Okay, so then I'll contact Paul Watson. And then, do we want to wait till next?
Let's finalize it. The next meeting September. By then, school will have started. We'll know
We'll know from the.
if we have the students, and then
We'll have the list, but we can have the draft letters ready to put in the mail after the next meeting. Perfect.
That sounds like the most unhinged event. Like we're drafting school children.
I don't see any problem with that. Most of the people I went to school with were drafted.
We'll draft.
Yeah, I went to East Bridgewater. They had parents come in to talk to the what was that school that Ethan went to? That was the junior high. You probably went through it. Project. It was like competitive.
PCC.
PCC.
Yeah.
And
Project.
this kid, we're in with the parents and the kids, and it's psychology, and they were saying, do you think your parents did anything for, and this kid sitting next to me is like, no, our parents never did anything. And then the guy said, he knew me because he taught in Rockland. He said, so Mrs. Schnabel, do you agree with that? And I said to the boy, how do you spell the word draft? And he went, what do you mean draft? And I'm like, that's what I mean. That's what we did for you. You don't know what it is.
Yep. All right. So look at the interview questions that Elaine put together, and let me know any additions. And hopefully we'll finalize them.
I have a couple, but I'll give them to you afterwards.
Yeah, you can email me, and then we can add to the list, and then pick. We probably don't. We can ask the same ones to everyone, but
Yeah, and some of them
time. We'll probably have 10 questions and have them. We'll have to edit the video as we go. But
and some of them lead to other questions.
agreed. Yep. All right. So we got that. Quick update from the July 23rd meeting, the Board of Selectmen meeting. So I did send a note out to the team with the updates. Sean's moving a full-time member. Lorna, who's there, will represent us at the CPC. Robert will become an MBA, and they did accept Michelle's resignation. And there was some confusion over Molly's status, but we did say that she's an associate. So I confirmed with Laurie O'Brien that they went out of order in what they were doing for Molly, but we're all set now.
They had me off the board.
Completely.
I called her and said, I'm no longer on.
Sorry, that was probably what I had said to her. I'm saying. So
You probably did
she
it.
probably took it to heart.
Yep. All right, so that's
You are here to make me miserable.
that is it. So artifacts to give to the middle school for display.
So I talked to Bob Burdette, and he was very happy about, yes, he'd be glad to help with it. He has not come up with anything, and the architects have asked me to take pictures of stuff. So I put in a call again to Bob today, and I will call him again tomorrow. And if not, then I will contact them to put together all of this stuff and take it in. Rich said that there is a manhole cover somewhere around down there that has the markings of the place on it.
Oh,
I had
somewhere
understood
down
it was
down.
a rock tour, but
that
part
must
of
be
it,
what someone was talking about. Remember, somebody mentioned.
yeah.
Yeah,
I thought it
go
was
through
up
the
on a
marshy
rock, but he said it's on like a manhole cover,
Yep.
and it explains it. He had never heard that it was built on he said his uncle gave all of the property.
Yeah.
But he said, I have no recognition of the fact that it was built on stilts. And I said, Mr. Joubert was the one who had said that.
Yeah.
So,
He used to go in and tour.
but I'll keep at it with Bob.
Great.
And Tim Clancy said, if you don't hear from him, let me know, because he said I'll go after it.
Yeah.
So
Great. So we'll have a good little group to give to the middle school, which is great. So, all right, we talked about the follow up from the email from Doug. So it looks like we will tie it in with
It'll be on our schedule.
It'll be on our schedule, not theirs, and
Yeah.
they've agreed to it. And then, so there's the update on the research and demo delays. I know your father was working on that, John. But we did talk about presenting it at the next town meeting. Mike, you said that the next town meeting's proposed for December.
Yeah.
So when will we have to have our act together to be on that
I
agenda?
think they would. I'm just saying this.
is it December or October?
I thought October.
We haven't scheduled yet. It's still up. The moderator is still working with his schedule. The powers that be to determine what date it's going to be. They are talking about the beginning of December now, the first Monday in December.
Right.
It sounds more like an annual town meeting kind of thing.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
All right.
And they usually,
I agree.
Any bylaws, the bylaw study committee doesn't meet that often, but they meet usually just before town meeting, and they give a recommendation, yes or no, on things.
Okay.
Like the couple of the citizens petitions that came up, the plastic ban, they took up the ban on plastics and styrofoams. Those two, they did take a recommendation on that. I think the accessory apartment, so they've taken recommendations on. But usually what happens is sometime around, I'll say February, if it's a May meeting, usually the selectmen will open, they'll tell you, first of all, they're supposed to send around a department letter, which never gets sent to us because we're just the historical commission. But usually all departments will get a letter that says something to the effect of, we're going to be doing town meeting. Are there any warrants that any warrant
What
articles
do we
that you
need
want
to do to get?
on that list?
Yeah,
I don't know, because but anyway, but usually they'll tell you in advance.
probably Lori.
I'll talk to Laurie.
Usually they'll say we're going to be opening at the February 24th meeting. Board of Selectmen meeting, we'll be opening the warrant and closing the warrant. So they give an open and a closing. It's just so that they can entertain any of the ones and they decide what's going to go on the warrant. Then a month later, somebody else comes up with one that's really important to the board in the town. They might reopen it and close it again that night. So it's not like it's open for like a 6 month period. It's open for that one meeting, and then it might be open for successive meetings if there is an interest in a certain warrant article.
So you're suggesting we wait until the
I would do it
annual meeting in May, use around the time frame, so we should be prepared for February. So we've got a little time, but let's work on it.
It's a general bylaw, which is not a zoning bylaw, which is much better.
Yeah.
The zoning bylaw has to go to the selectmen, then get bumped to the planning board where they have a hearing, and then gets put on the warrant.
So we'd put it into the general bylaw. All right. So move to wait until the annual meeting in May. Any seconds?
Can we just have a consensus that we can do that?
Consensus.
Because we don't have anything we're voting on in front of us.
Okay,
like any proposal.
Thank you.
I might hate the proposal. I might love the proposal. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we'll have a consensus, and then just let your father as we work on it. Yep.
What?
Your father's been working on it, so we'll have him. Give us an update. All right. And then we've already covered the new business, the restoration of the arch, which is great. And then we talked about. I think we've covered the library sponsoring.
Yep.
We've the new business around the library sponsoring the November, December talks. Any other business we need to?
The reason I stood up.
Yeah.
Just.
I thought you were outraged. That's why I stood up.
God, Michael. This is why I stood up. Besides the fact that I was having leg cramps from sitting. These are workshops that the Mass Historic Commission sent.
Relative to the survey and planning grant program.
Yep, and so I thought it might be interesting for some of you to take a look at, particularly if we go after any restoration stuff. I think if we're going to go after anything with restoration, it's probably going to be Hornster's Farm.
Yeah.
Did you send us an email?
I can email.
She's
Because it's registered here, but of course I can't.
Yeah.
I'll send it to the group. Yep, I'll send the electronic version. All right. Any other business?
Yes, one other piece of business. How well do you know Lonnie?
Very well.
Good. Talk to Robert after the meeting.
Believe it or not, she likes me.
I think you're in
She's
trouble,
a
Robert.
pleasant individual.
I
Lonnie.
second that.
Robert's interested in something in her department.
Okay. All right. So I move to close today's meeting. So the
Move to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
I second.
Second. All in favor? Aye. All right. You can stop recording.